to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to Season 2 of Cinema Surprise here on the Cinementalists. We are kicking it off with Joseph's first pick in the new year. The new Cinementalists year. It's October. We're getting building up to October again. It feels like that's kind of our reset point. I'm loving it. It's a good place to reset. Regardless, we are starting with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It was released on December 14th, 1977, written and directed by Steven Spielberg. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. So Close Encounters of the Third Kind was a movie that's been on both of our watch lists for a very long time. What motivated your choice here?
Well, I kind of thought of the decade rule we kind of had placed, and I'm like, well, I kind of just want to watch an older movie in general. I just wanted something pre-80s or so. And then I'm like, Steven Spielberg. I haven't seen as many of his movies as I would like to have seen, and then I've just heard of this one, not like crazy things about the movie, but I've just heard about it, like, I feel like my whole life, just slowly, I don't know, right. I've always just heard things about it, and so I saw Spielberg, I see Aliens, I see, we just covered Aliens as well, it's all very sci-fi heavy, everything was just kind of flowing, I guess. I didn't mean to exactly keep the theme going, but I think my brain was just primed in that way, of just kind of all things Alien. And then, Peake's given us the Project Blue Book little reference there. I know I'm self-promoting here, and people who don't know the other shows don't know anything that's going on, but I guess the movie was, I thought I was very, very safe here. And I've just very surprising to me that, I don't know, to start out this way, I didn't think, I thought we'd be another kind of comfort-ish movie, E.T.-esque.
No.
And yeah. But
that's something I'd always heard about the movie. One of the only things I knew about Close Encounters is that it's a much darker movie than E.T.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like darker it is darker, but less family friendly, more adult. Like it's not it's not for the kids. It's, I'll start with what I really did like. I thought it was very pretty. It got that cinematography win at the Oscars, and as far as I can tell, it might be the best looking movie of 1977 that I've seen. I don't know that it is. Eraserhead came out that year. That's still one of the most gorgeous movies I've ever seen. Was never going to win an Oscar, but it's one of my favorites I've ever seen.
Yeah, Spielberg knows how to use the camera.
Yeah.
So and the lighting, he's like, I feel like in Alien, the original Alien, it's what they did. Ridley Scott did super well of just letting the light flood in, and Spielberg. I feel like Spielberg loves.
Spielberg always does that. So, he's always so good at that. And I enjoyed the score a lot. I thought that John Williams knocked it out of the park as always. The thing that's interesting about John Williams too is that there's a certain threshold, I feel like, for what he's capable of as far as just like sounding new. This is one of his less original scores for me, just because it sounds like other John Williams scores, but it's not as distinctive as Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Jaws, Superman. The Fabelmans, all sorts of stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's not me putting a ceiling on John Williams. No, he's incredible. But when you listen to John Williams music, you're listening to John Williams music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good thing too, most of the time.
I'd say he's probably, to me, for sure to me right
the
now,
GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, I don't know if that's really even a debate in soundtrack kind of history, but yeah, I'd agree. I think now that I'm listening to it in the background, I have been for I guess 20 minutes of it so far, and during I'm liking it a whole lot more now outside of the movie, which is interesting. But I think every time the ships were on screen or something truly mysterious happened, I liked those noises. Yeah, like that was always good, I feel like, in the movie. But now I'm even liking just the kind of in between. So I think maybe it was kind of in movie that I really didn't get the full.
I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the movie that's not hitting right, and the music is indicating that it's supposed to be, and there's kind of a dissonance, and it's a little bit of there's a little bit of a disconnect. Now, I think that technically this movie is really well done. I think that it's a very good looking movie. I think it's well edited. I think the VFX are really well done, and they've aged pretty good also. I think that, I said, the music is good. I think it's generally well performed. Richard Dreyfuss does a really great job. Terry Garr, who I love, rest in peace. She's incredible.
What is
she does a great job.
Looked familiar. But
After Hours would have been something we've covered that she was in.
Okay.
She was also in a couple episodes of Friends as Phoebe Buffay's birth mom.
What's New Scooby-Doo in 2003?
There you go.
Aloha Scooby-Doo. she's a Scooby-Doo lover. I'm fucking
Scooby-Doo. That's
Batman Beyond as well. Mary McGinnis. I don't remember that.
There we go. Mary McGinnis.
But and the Return of the Joker. I
would
watched
be
those.
Related to Terry McGinnis in some capacity, who is Batman Beyond.
Mary McGinnis. Mary. Sister? Do you have a sister? I don't know.
Sister, mom,
but okay, there we are.
Terry Garr's been around. Love her. She passed last October. Very talented actress. I absolutely adore her work.
She was working her filmography just goes
vast.
Holy
vast
crap! Yeah,
she's been around the block, but
So
I love
out of here.
I love
she got fucking packed the kids up and said
they packed
bye.
the kids up and gone and no longer in the movie. The other actress, Melinda Dillon. I've grown up on Melinda Dillon because she's the mother in A Christmas Story. The woman who plays Jillian.
Okay.
I've literally seen her face every year for my entire life.
Whoa. She was Miss Rogers in 1990s Captain America.
No kidding.
I did 3.3 stars, so I'm assuming I don't know, maybe it wasn't quite that, but wow, these I know very working. I know both of them are very. I don't know during this time. So kind of in everything.
All that to say that, again, technically, I think this movie is from the outset a well done movie, and that makes it all the more bizarre that I'm left feeling so dissatisfied. I did not like the movie. It didn't connect with me in any real capacity. I think that I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of went in. I did have high expectations, like you said. We've heard about this movie for a really long time. It's been on the watch list forever. Last Cinema Surprise, this movie almost came up, and it's always been when we did the Sci-Fi Project earlier this year, it almost was one of the picks there. We've always had this right on the cusp. We love Spielberg. We've covered so much Spielberg. It makes sense that we've always wanted to get around to this movie, and given the talent Spielberg possesses, which is on display here, we expected to like it more. And I'm speaking for the both of us here, just because we text a lot immediately upon completing it last night, so I know roughly how you're feeling. And it's so confounding that I feel this way again, because I can recognize how technically well done it is. It just doesn't connect with me in the slightest.
And I wonder if, sometimes simple is better, or less is more, and maybe not to throw in a bunch of confusing mystery kind of details to the story. But I feel like somehow trying to connect this song or I don't know. Give something else other than it's no one really knows what's going on. The military doesn't even feel like they know what's going on either. But then there's also this air of we've been sending people in here maybe on purpose, maybe on accident, but now we're sending a new group of people. It's like, I don't really know what's going on either as the audience member. So it's like, I feel like I like that things are left up in mystery, and I guess the difference between some of the versions is we don't know whatever Richard Dreyfuss does or what happens to him in the ship.
Right.
He goes on the ship and that's it. I like that mystery. Leaving that a mystery, full good. In the
open-ended. You're going with them. I do think we talked last night. You said, I don't know that I'll ever watch this movie again, and I don't have the urge to watch this movie again.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe I could probably like it more a second time around. Knowing full well what it is and knowing exactly what I'm getting into, and kind of being open to it, because even as I'm watching the movie, I'm trying to, I want to access movies. I don't want to not like a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to find what I like about what is happening. I'm always. And when it came to this one, there was a lot of stuff from the outset, just outside looking in, that I'm like, this story should be resonating. Like, I don't know why I'm not connecting with it, but, like the story of his family is devastating, like, the corrosion of his home life as he's been, tasked by a higher power to do something, to go somewhere, to solve this mystery, to go into the great unknown. There's a lot of, spiritually, I think it's an interesting film. Maybe even in some capacity about faith.
Yeah.
Like, following your heart and doing something you have to do, but you're not even sure why you have to do it. And so I'm like, I do think that maybe on a second time around, I could really, really get down with this. Unfortunately, I just don't have any desire to do that.
Yeah, we were crazy to compare these movies. I don't even think they're really in the same league. The only reason they came up in our conversation is because they were movies that we didn't give the like on Letterboxd, which is a very rare thing to happen. And it was Cap 4, and like the new Cap movie. And and then
Captain America: Brave New World.
I was initially thinking like, I probably will never watch Cap again. I probably won't watch The Close Encounters of the Third Kind again. But I had more fun watching Cap, so I thought it was a more rewatchable movie. But like, there's nothing else I can really gain out of Cap.
No.
Again, but I think there is something I could gain out of what I don't know, and I don't know what it is. I
do too. I actually, more than I felt yesterday. Like yesterday, I don't know what the fuck was wrong yesterday.
Yeah, maybe we were just tired. It was
the most confounding I've ever felt watching a movie, because, like you said, I did not throw this a heart on Letterboxd, which is incredibly rare. I've watched like over 200 movies in 2025, and I think 6 of them, maybe 5 of them, haven't gotten a heart.
Very.
And
rare.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when you look at that list of movies, is obviously in a different league than the other ones. Like it's not even close to being comparable as the same kind of movie, like you said, with Captain America 4 and the Fantastic Four from 2015, and just like a few other ones that I'm like, those are obviously shitters. Like those are obviously so bad. Like I want to give this movie more credit than I am right now, and I really think that I could probably. I almost certainly I'd be able to watch it again and see and appreciate it a lot more for what it is. I don't know what it was that I was expecting, but I think that it stretches. It feels way too long, which is never a good thing. The middle.
Eesh.
Yeah, ooh, the middle the middle rough. 45 minutes boil my blood. Like I get overstimulated at points, and I get annoyed at other points, and I'm like, oh my god, can we just get the fuck over it already? I mean, like, can any of you have 1 ounce of empathy for this guy, and can he kind of nut up and be there a little bit for his family? I don't know. Like, there's a little bit of like there's a double-bladed sword there where I'm like, everything going on is annoying right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's in the director's cut, I think they add even more into this section right here, which is interesting. So I was wanting to ask you, do you remember him going into the shower with all of his clothes on and kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So interesting. So
that's one of the cruxes of the movie for me too. You know, like I think that's a scene that, I mean, that's something that I will also give it credit for. We've talked about how I want movies to give me a visceral reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather feel something than not feel anything at all. And that part made me feel very, very bad. You know, like, and not in a way that I was like, this is such a shit movie. No, I did not want to be watching the movie at that time for reasons within the movie. Not because I'm like, wow, this is bad. No, it's like, I don't like the way the movie is making me feel right now. And that's, ironically kind of a good thing to me. That's why I do think I could revisit it and appreciate it in a different way. I just wasn't in the right frame of mind for it, is where my money's at. Because, again, I love Spielberg, and Spielberg has done so much incredible work, and this is a well-done movie, which is, I know I've said it like 4 times in 16 minutes here. I'm so confused why it doesn't work for me.
It has everything going for it. I mean, and there's this weird puzzle and like a guy that's seeming crazy for believing in aliens or weird crackpot theories, but it's like this is even something else. Like he had a vision, or and I think a cool part that they didn't really like tack on a lot is the fact that they all saw Devil's Tower, or like they all saw it and they all could see it so clearly. But depending on like how they drew it, or like, yeah, like he made an actual sculpture of it. So he knew where he was going the whole time, as when the others were like, oh, I didn't draw it like that. Or like, I didn't think of it like that. So I don't know where we're going. And that's like, they're saying that like, it's just like, you know, to them, it's whatever. It is what but I don't know. Like, I feel like that detail could have been harped on a lot more, of like, they knew some knowledge that the military did not know. And I don't know. Like, it didn't really feel like they triumphed at all. Like, they got there and they, you know, it was their mission. He got on the ship, I guess. But, like, it didn't really feel like, I don't know. Like, and maybe the military wasn't so anti... Like, they weren't just trying to... I mean, they were trying to crop dust him and just make him go to sleep. But I don't know. Like, there wasn't this this feeling of triumph, I guess, at the end, which I kind of was expecting. And
that's why, like... I don't know. Something small and intimate and... I don't want to say low stakes, because there's really high personal stakes for Richard Dreyfuss's character.
Yeah. He lost his family, bro.
He lost his family. This has to work out for him, you know, like, and so I'm trying to figure out what could make me, because story beat wise, I don't mind the story. Like, the story is the story's solid. I don't know what I'm missing, I guess. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, last week when we covered Alien Romulus, I'm like, here's how you make this movie better. And I'm confident that's how you make the movie better. I have no idea why this isn't connecting with me. You know? And sometimes that just happens. It's weird. And it's even more strange that it happened to both of us. I thought I was going to have to come on here and go, I'm sorry, man, I just didn't get it. You know, like, it just didn't hit. I'm glad we're on the same page, but I do kind of wish it would have worked for one of us, so that we could have that sort of dichotomy.
I guess the part that did work for me was the Devil's Tower. It was that the aliens weren't really doing a whole lot, that it was this weird unknown sort of you can't even put it into words, like that. It was everything outside of the movie. Or I don't know, like, it got me to think of like all the cover-ups we do in real, or I don't know, like, you know, it's like, how much of this shit is fake, and or how much of it do we want to be real? Or like a lot of shots just showed a car or a truck pulling up, and it's just two headlights, but it looks like a UFO. We're primed because we're seeing a Close Encounters of a, we're seeing a UFO movie, and we just think anything in the sky or any light in the sky is going to be a UFO. Right. But then it's just a truck, or like I feel like that's the opening shot of the movie, is just a truck driving through the sand or driving through the desert. And I thought we were in like some weird deep space, or I don't know. And then I'm like, oh fuck, that's just a truck. And I feel like it happened a couple other times. So like there were
the helicopter that pulls up about 45 minutes in whenever they think they're looking for the UFO again, and I really love the first act. I really love I enjoy enough and like the conclusion a lot, because. Again, I think the ending is good, and I think the beginning is good. I think that the entire setup is really compelling, and I think that the payoff, at least for Richard Dreyfuss's character, is massive. Like that makes sense. That is, but there's a few things within that. I don't love that he kisses Jillian. Their romance is ridiculous to me.
Should have just been platonic, or should have just.
It should have. It very much so should have been platonic, because. Him displaying any degree of romance with this other woman just kind of indicates that he just didn't fuck with his wife, which is
and maybe play into that harder. Like maybe it's like his life wasn't going the way he wanted to. He was living a lie. He was actually supposed to be with this other woman, and like this I don't know, like maybe that's a cooler story, but even I don't know. Like him just kind of it's not even like he abandoned his family. The family just abandoned each other. I don't know. It was just kind of like
everybody went their separate ways, and like he emotionally abandoned his family before they literally did it, Now, I don't know how you incorporate them again. I don't know what has to happen. He obviously gets in a spaceship and flies away.
And
now, but that just kind of being the end of that is bizarre to me. She just takes the kids to her sisters, and then we are done. That's it. Bye, family. Everything's over. Everything that and we don't enter this movie with such a sense of, I don't know, dissatisfaction with his life. Like if he had seemed like a sad sack, if he had seemed depressed, if he had seemed like and maybe going into the movie with that in mind, maybe he is a little bit more than I was thinking, but I don't know. It's just strange to kind of watch a movie where this guy who seems like a perfectly normal, straightforward everyman, he gets his shit rocked by UFOs, and he's like, all of a sudden, this is my life. I have to figure this out. I have to get to the bottom of this, no matter what it costs. He gets to the bottom of it, and that's that.
Which. That is his only drive for the whole movie is, I saw this, it must be important. And like, maybe it's, to the family, it's him coping or just being like, you're unemployed. You need something to focus on. Here's your thing. So that's why we're out of here. But like, so I like that it's like this alien thing that he can't explain is driving him to go to Wyoming out of nowhere. But like I don't know. It like, there should have been actual logic thrown in, like actual times or something. I don't know of the family. Yeah, just the way the family split up. I feel like was just a bit quick and just a bit like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess they are gone. And I didn't know I wouldn't see him again, but that's okay.
And that's the thing, is that there's some good moments in that 45 minutes. Like, I love when he's building the mound of mashed potatoes at the table and the entire family just kind of watches him super sad. Yes. That's a good scene. That was, and he's like, and he says something about how he knows that he looks crazy and all this, like I promise daddy's not losing his mind or whatever. And it's like, it's sad. It's a really sad moment. And then the shower scene later on is just fucking devastating. Whenever the son comes in and watches and is like, you're a crybaby, you're a crybaby, and all that stuff. Like, it's good, which is why I'm wondering why it's not working for me. I just don't know. And then to have all of it really undermine his... Like, if he was just meant for greater things, and there was, it's like allegorically something that I think kind of Spielberg is getting at is, I think he's doing a lot to cope with his mom leaving the family for Benny. I don't remember, probably not his real name, but the Seth Rogen and the Fablemans. Kind of trying to cope with that to a degree, and also in some capacity explain his own motivations for going and making movies, and not abandoning his family, but maybe feeling like he was driven by a higher power, like driven by a higher purpose. This is what I'm meant to do. And it's that scene with Judd Hirsch and the Fablemans where he's like, family and your love, and they're always tearing each other apart until it tears you apart. And like that is literally what's at the heart of this movie, except you don't, whenever he kisses Jillian, I think it completely undermines the higher drive.
Yeah.
The
hug, the embrace they had, like when they first found
sense.
each other, great. And like he
Yes.
didn't have that moment with his wife, and he's like,
they're
just
bonded.
hold me,
They're
or
bonded through this traumatic thing
Yeah.
that nobody else understands. That makes sense. Like they should have a palpable friendship.
Yep.
I agree with that.
But yeah, the second they took it past that, I mean, it's like maybe after this, if he were to come back from the UFO whatever and return, and then she's still there, I don't know, then maybe I'm more okay with it there. But yeah, the romance was a little weird, and I guess that is a Spielberg. He's not the strongest with the romance and everything.
No,
but it's so crazy. Like, I guess the time, like there was a boat or a Navy ship that was out in the desert, and it's actually from World War II or whatever, or it's from a long time ago. And then these World War II planes are showing up, and it's like, okay, so we are playing with time, and they leave that a little mysterious too. It's never like I guess I wish those were used somehow, and not just adding more mystery to the aliens. I honestly thought for a second we were doing some weird Tenet thing, because this other guy, super thick beard, glasses, he's on like the
Bob
science
Balaban.
team. Yes, okay. Love Bob
Balaban. He's the narrator in Moonrise Kingdom. He's in a bunch of Wes Anderson movies.
Oh shit.
Bob Balaban's real as fuck. Love Bob Balaban.
Well, I guess I did. At first, I didn't think Bob Balaban was Bob Balaban. With the beard and the glasses and in the desert and it being kind of grainy, it reminded me of Richard Dreyfuss, like how he looked in Jaws. Or just like the beard is way thicker, and like now that I'm looking at it, it's not him, but I kind of thought, I'm like, oh shit, there's Richard Dreyfuss, or like, or whatever. And
right.
I thought that this was, the real Richard Dreyfuss that we see, Roy, was the pre-alien experience, and then Bob Balaban was the post-alien experience, and he came from, like, the time kind of warped already, and it was some...
Like there's some sort of,
but then
what's happened, et cetera, et cetera. No, and I think that there's obviously a good movie in here, and that's what's really confounding, specifically when it comes to, like, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but when it comes to rating this movie, it's going to be the rare one where I think that I'm actually going to go higher than just what I feel, because I'm like, I want to believe in it. I want to believe in it. I want to, and I think that there's just enough here to like that. I'm so curious why like I said, the romance, that's something that I actually expressly do not like. That's something that I'm confident that if you remove, even if you just remove the kiss, I think it pays off better. I texted you this last night. Allegorically, I think it would work a lot better also if Jillian was a man. That way you could keep the romance. Because the idea that this guy who doesn't feel like he fits the mold of the nuclear family has something within him that he doesn't know how to explain, and he's afraid of it, and he's not sure exactly what it means, but his family it tears and corrodes his family until he decides to live his truth and go follow his heart. That is allegorically queer, like that could absolutely be a queer story if and I mean, like, it still is allegorically queer, I would say, but they could have made it explicit if Jillian was a man.
Yeah, could have.
And then also, it would be a lot like it would be a different movie, but that would have been very, very good in my opinion.
And and you were saying the boy, his son coming in, calling him a crybaby, slamming the door on him, all these things, and like, and Spielberg, kind of not, I'd say, like, making movies or doing this thing. It's not like you're truly abandoning your family, but like doing something out of the norm or doing something that is just uncomfortable or taking a risk. It's on your family a bit too. Like, it's like optically, whatever. It's like, oh, my son's not going to be a doctor or whatever we wanted him to be, and it's whatever. But it's like, well, now look at Spielberg. Look at him now. It's like, obviously his family would if they would eat their words. If they could have seen the future and seen how successful he would have been. And so it's like this. It's this feeling of, man, deep down I know I want to do this and it is me, but how is it going to affect my family? And like, he does go crazy, and he is like forgetting, or I don't know, he is not really treating his family the best anymore, but he is always like, he's always thinking of the kids, or like the kids, well, I guess, I don't know, it did slip his mind. Or was that someone else? I guess
that was him. That was him. That was one of the parts where I was explicitly like, "Oh, he really don't give a fuck about his family."
Like, if he was at least showing some worry to Ronnie of like, "Oh my God, they took your son. Like, we have to go save him. Like, we have to."
He doesn't
go
give a
get
flying
him.
fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
It doesn't even come up. It's like,
no.
Man.
In fact, he kind of forgets that that's what she's going there for.
Yeah, it's just and that other random dude that just joined and then got fucking crop dusted. I mean, maybe that was just so they could crop dust one person and, have someone fall. But like, I wish, I don't know, like, it was, I wish they played with that multiple people saw this, and I don't know, like, it felt like there should have been a little more of a found family rather than this found romance, which just doesn't work. But I don't know. I don't even know if adding that in there would, like, if say we have 5 people or 6 people that are all going up here at the end. Does it really?
No matter what, if he develops a found family, it undermines the fact that he emotionally completely distanced himself from his family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm like
It's like,
I don't know what the solution to this
aliens?
problem is.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like, he wasn't meant for Earth. I don't know. Or
well, I mean, like, there is something to the imagery of the family kind of just packing it up and leaving him versus the aliens all embracing him and carrying him into the light, and like all of that stuff. Like, there is they
do seem to pick him. Like, all of those
people like, he is there. He is the one they are going with. There is a line of people, and I'm pretty sure he's the only one from that lineup of people who actually ends up going. Yeah. I don't think that they all do.
Which, that was weird. I thought all of them were going, and this is like
I think all of them were supposed to, and then they respect that he was kind of picking.
Ah, I see. And
I said picked.
Sunglasses was interesting, too, of like, I feel like that was like a little specific at the end of like everyone in the line were wearing those aviator. I thought it was just to be a little Top Gun or like to be a little pilotish, whatever. But then all the scientists, or like it showed everyone else.
I love the shot whenever we see the aliens and the aliens are looking back at us, and then there's this really weird effect that they do with the effect on you, not effect in the context of the movie. Like, whenever the camera cuts from us looking at the aliens to looking at us, and some of us are wearing the sunglasses and some of them aren't, and like, all of a sudden you can see us from the eyes of an alien a little bit. Like, you can see how unique and odd we are.
Yes.
Which is, so again, I love that. Like, there's something very, very cool about that. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm confident I would like it more on a second time around.
I'm liking it more already. Like, it's like I don't know, like, it's, And I don't
No,
know if
I am too. Well, and I knew that talking about it would force me to talk about the things I do like, because I was really, really focused on the things I didn't. And what sucks is that I don't know what precisely I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? So it's more just the fact that I didn't. There are a lot of stuff in this movie that normally would resonate with me on an emotional level, and it simply didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't well up. I didn't cry. I teared up at one point in the movie, and it was sheerly because of a just sort of outside looking in. It was a beautiful shot. It was a beautiful moment. And it was the dinner table scene whenever he's building the mound of mashed potatoes, and he is taking up the right side of the screen, and on the left side of the screen is his son looking at him crying. And thinking about Spielberg's relationship with his family, and looking back on the Fabelmans, and kind of like all the math there was adding up for me. I was like, that's very, very poignant. It's a very poignant moment, very poignant image. And I think that there's a lot, like he said in his Golden Globes acceptance speech for Best Director for the Fabelmans, he talked about how there's a lot of that story in E.T. There's a lot of that story in Close Encounters, and it's very obvious that that's the case. One of the things that I do think is interesting is that in both movies, E.T. and Close Encounters, he frames the person who is leaving the family as the dad.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, because that's markedly not what happened in the Fabelmans. And I wonder if that's because he's trying to hide it a little bit more, you know, like like he says in that acceptance speech also, like I've been hiding from this story.
Yeah, and still I don't know. There's like this weird air to it where it feels like it's not just his family's story. Like I feel like he is seconds away from being like, I had an experience like this as a kid.
Right.
And I would sound insane if I came out and said it. But like, I'm trying to make all these movies and make it seem normal. So it's like, I on one, you know, he's made, I don't know. I think that's why I have such weird feelings about the movie, is I'm comparing it to every other Spielberg movie that there is. And those are just, I mean, top of the line classic movies, or like some of my, like E.T. and the Fabelmans, and even like Ready Player One. Like, I mean, even like Ready Player One, I feel like is one of Spielberg's kind of lesser movies, and it's crazy to call that a lesser movie. Like, I love the shit out of that
Right,
movie.
no, it's super fun.
So it's like, I was immediately coming in thinking, all right, I'm going to get a new movie joining this rank of, you know, this tier of movies and everything. But maybe if I, you know, compare it to all of Hollywood, you know, and not just Spielberg, I wonder how differently I look at the movie, and because it still was boring in the middle, and I don't think there's any way around that. Like it was just, it stretched.
No, the stretch in the middle is too long, and there's not enough development that occurs over those 45 minutes that you couldn't have gathered from the first 20 minutes of that sequence.
He's
you
just
know?
going crazy, and he's losing his family. That is all that is happening over that entire middle
and it
section.
Simultaneously happens too fast and takes way too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it wasn't a slow descent.
As far as
It
his
was
family's
boom.
departure, his family's departure is way too fast, because we spend so much time with his descent into sort of a crazed mindset. And I think there's only one scene where they explicitly are like trying to be there for him, if that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even
they seem really, really ready to write him off, in my opinion, and I don't love that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. The romance, the whole the best part of the family, honestly, was like just the opening whenever it was just all chaotic. The one kid in the background smacking the baby against the crib, you know, and they're just not thinking anything of it. But then later on, he's like, fucking Billy, or what, you know, whatever. It's like, I don't know, to stop, like, get out here. You're, I mean, yeah. So they weren't the most functional family, you know, they seemed to be okay with everyone around, but like, I don't know. They didn't actually seem to be, you know, watching the kids all that much. Like, I feel like there were like 3 or 4 times where that baby smacking against the crib almost hit like the younger daughter. And
Right.
like I don't know if it was on purpose, but it worked. I feel like just to kind of show a little dysfunctionality, and then like there's a dead fly in my mashed potatoes, or like I don't know. They seem to be kind of like I don't know. They had it all, just 3 kids, the married couple, the house.
Yeah, it's a nuclear. It's a quintessential nuclear family. Like that is so. And I think that going back to the Fablemans again, it's Mitzi in that movie, the mom played by Michelle Williams, who adopts the monkey and starts kind of getting a little out there, and she's not satisfied, and she wants something else, and it feels very, very obvious to me in the context of the Fablemans that Roy is simultaneously a depiction of his mom in the literal way that it happens in his family, and also him as far as going to go off and find something else, because I see a lot of the Steven Spielberg stand-in in the Fablemans, Sammy. In that moment when the kid's like, you're a crybaby, and in that moment, I actually see a little bit more of Sammy talking to his dad, like it's a bizarre way to kind of like amalgamate everything and get all of your feelings out in one thing, which is why like I will always appreciate a movie that has that much of a personal touch, as opposed to like when we were talking about last night when we were talking about like Captain America 4 and shit. Like this doesn't feel like corporate slog. It feels like someone made this movie and set out to make this movie and made this movie. And in that regard, I do respect it. And the more we've talked about it, the more I do like it. There are just unquestionable sort of confounding issues I have with the movie where I'm like, I don't know why it didn't resonate with me. I'm usually able to just surrender to a narrative and eventually it'll find its way to me. I found myself having a very hard time surrendering. Like there came a point where I was almost resenting the choices the movie was making. Or I was like, Jesus, like we're still doing this. I don't know. And
man, maybe
it's not the way I like to watch a movie.
Maybe we are Roy. We only want the end. We only want Devil's Tower. That's all we care about. At this point, who the fuck cares about? We don't even care about their family. Well, I think we wish we did. Actually, I think
I do. I do wish I did.
So it's they should have been a bigger part of the movie, but yeah,
just something a little more like. I wish they would have done a little more to reach out to him, and he did a little bit more to keep them at arm's length. Yeah. Besides just being like, I get that he's locked in.
Yeah.
I get that he's focused. And there's nothing else that can get in his way.
He is locked.
I wish they would have tried to get in his way a little bit more.
Yeah.
He keeps doing a bunch of stuff, and they keep being like, Roy, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And it's like, he's doing the fucking thing, he's doing the thing he's been doing the whole goddamn time.
Yeah. There's never once a kid that's like, Dad, but now we're not going to be able to play catch, or Dad, please come play with me. It's the kid that was watching cartoons and it was like, are you going to yell at me now? It's like only bad things were coming from the kids. Like there was never, right. I don't know. So it's just maybe that's,
well, and there's a lot of I appreciate the looks of confusion on the younger kids. The younger kids don't really understand what's happening, and the oldest sibling resents his father. The middle sibling is just kind of like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this, and the youngest one has no fucking clue. Like I don't know what I expect. But it's something a little bit more intimate than what this movie is willing to give us. It feels a little half-assed to me. It just kind of feels like, yep, and the family fell apart. And yep, he goes to Devil's Tower, and yeah, why wouldn't he kiss her?
Yeah. And I mean, the setup was actually kind of there. I thought at the beginning I thought I was kind of getting into this movie, right? And it felt at least like a twist was coming. Like it maybe that's why. Is that like I'm feeling like there's kind of a twist coming, and then it's really just, well, no, they just got there and the aliens did their thing and he's gone, and that's it. But like every movie doesn't need a twist. I'm trying to think of an Arrival, as far as aliens coming to Earth and having first contact, whatever, like Arrival, a new age movie. I mean, kind of difficult to compare, but I don't know. Like there is so much more going on there. It's a lot more scientific, I guess, or like actual twist focused. But
I really do not mind that the aliens are just good. You know, like I think that's I think that's a twist in and of itself for me. Is that the aliens don't mean any harm. There is no conflict at hand. They're just like, here's your people back, and, you know, it's good to see you guys. Bye.
Yeah, and that's like, it's just never gone into deeper detail than that. It's like people disappear and reappear again, and
yeah, and I suppose that if they had emphasized that in their studies of it, you know, like, wow, this ship is here. How's this ship here? They never once during all of that, when they find all that stuff where they like, and this crew went missing in 1945, you know, like they never actually, they don't emphasize that until they're piling off of the ship. And you're like, oh,
this person's back. This person's
back.
I
guess I hadn't thought of that. But like, so I agree that could have been a little bit bigger of an emphasis on as far as the investigation side of it. But I really like the mystery of the aliens and kind of leaving it. I like leaving that vague. I think that keeping it to this sort of just they're a peaceable faction of a species that just kind of vibes out, listens to music, plays music. This is just kind of what they do. I appreciate that there's no conflict with the aliens because all the conflict is interpersonal. And I wish that that conflict had been better.
Yeah. I guess they did yoink the little boy. Like, they did just take him from his house. He did want to go, you know? I guess he did.
But they did very specifically want him.
That's true.
Also,
and they came into his house. They ate food. They ate his food first. And, like, I always love the thought of, like, if aliens were to come down, this is the first human they saw was this little kid. And it's like, do they think every other human is that small as well? Right. You know, at that point, you know, maybe if they can travel here, they probably know what we all look like, or they can probably, I don't know. But who knows? Maybe they truly don't know until they get down there. So it was kind of funny that they just eat all the food and the kid's just kind of smiling at him, you know? And that was I like that shot of not showing the alien at all, just keeping fully on the kid and just him like being a little bit weirded out at first, but then just smiling.
I believe we are discussing one of the differences between the theatrical cut and the director's cut, because I have no idea what the fuck you are talking about.
Really? For real? Whenever he gets abducted? Or no, that's before he gets abducted. Yeah, so there's the abduction scene where like their whole house turns orange and like the mom's closing everything down. But before that happens, I feel like pretty early on in the movie, the alien comes into the house, into their home. The mom stays asleep, and the kid wakes up. All the toys are kind of going crazy and turning on and whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He walks downstairs and he sees all the food sprawled out in the kitchen all along the floor. And the fridge is open, but it never shows the alien. It just shows him smiling.
The way you were talking about it, I thought that they'd shown the alien. My bad. Okay.
No.
Yeah, we did see the same thing there. Yeah.
But the actual differences that I know about that I'm glad I did not watch the special edition now, is that it shows the inside of the ship, and whatever happens to Roy, I don't know. I'd honestly rather not know what happens to Roy after.
Yeah, I don't care. I like the open-endedness. Yeah. That's fun.
So that's a little strange. I guess the special edition, it's shorter. It's the shortest one, 132 minutes. I mean, all of them around 130, but surprisingly, they add more to the middle of the movie in the special edition. So that's crazy. But yeah, I think we got the theatrical, and the directors seem to be the go-to of the ones everyone says to watch. obviously Spielberg prefers the director's cut, but even I like the differences between theatrical and director's cut are barely any at all.
They seem minimal. Yeah.
While the special edition was adding the whole interior scene, and then like it's just cutting a few like little things here and there and adding a little more to his craziness. And I guess there's some big desert scene that we didn't get. Some addition to the desert stuff. Maybe the ship or stuff that's in the special edition. But yeah,
that could be interesting. Like if it wasn't for them adding something to the end there, I think I would be interested in watching it, because maybe that's what I'm missing from the middle. Yeah. But maybe I don't know. But yeah, either way,
was Carl Weathers?
I don't know. I find myself more. What's that? Sorry.
What was Carl Weathers in the movie? I mean, I don't remember this. There's like this. The screenshots are really small, so I can't. I mean, the mustache is there.
Yeah, there's a black guy at the beginning of the movie during the. It's not Carl Weathers. He was mad familiar though, and I wish for the life I haven't looked into it. But
oh my god, that looks like his twin fucking bro. That is insane. I mean,
maybe that's who he reminded me of, because I was watching it and I was like, he looks so familiar, and I cannot place him. Not Carl Weathers.
Yeah, no.
But come on, now load for me.
Definitely not on the cast, and I don't know what he would have been cast as. Just I don't know.
Well, he would have been the only black guy in the movie.
That's
so
true.
if you find a
lot of the
picture of a black
are just
guy,
not actual pictures set in the.
Oh, Carl Weathers is credited in this movie.
No shot. It is. Yeah, wait. Military police.
That's not the guy that we're thinking of, though.
I guess
I'm thinking of the guy at the beginning on the monitor.
Yes, no. I'm looking at it says, or maybe this is only in the theatrical version, it looks like. The director's cut misses the scene where Roy talks to the border official. Okay, I didn't see this. Yeah. So he's in the theatrical, but not the director's cut for whatever reason. But it's outside. There's like a what looks like some barricade set up. And Carl Weathers just comes out to talk to him at this like checkpoint in like the middle of a town with a bunch of horses and yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any. This is. I don't even know.
That is not in the movie that I watched. That is not in the movie that I saw. He is definitely not a part of that of the theatrical version. At least I don't think he is. Maybe I'd zoned the fuck out. But
okay. Maybe is this? Yes. Okay, I did see this part. Whenever the person was selling a bunch of the animals or whatever to be like, you got to know if the animal's dead, you don't want to die, buy an animal or whatever. It's right after that, I guess. Immediately after he talks to Carl Weathers for a little bit, for whatever reason. Border official, you got next of kin in the red zone, buddy? My sister, what's her name? Well, that's okay. She's probably out of there already. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it has, I guess, just one conversation and then.
That's wild that Carl Weathers is actually in this movie, but was actually completely different than the person we were talking about. What? That's utterly insane.
And I just watched Predator 2, so it was like seeing him in that. It was like, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things all going on. A lot of
weird connections.
Peacemaker.
A lot of weird connections.
With the
Close Encounters.
Are they just going to play a weird song and then leave? And I'm like, is that really what the movie can be boiled down to? But like, actually.
Kind of can.
Actually, yeah. I mean, the regular song that was played, and the hand motions, the short kind of whatever.
The 5 notes.
But then they just went ham, and then... but then they were like, oh, we're taking over the conversation. And then the piano plays by itself. And then it's like, so are they communicating? Do they know what is being said there? Or is it just like, oh, show me what you got a little, it felt like the Rick and Morty fucking, I don't know.
I would be 100% willing to bet that is this is the basis for the show me what you got in Rick and Morty. But,
this song sucked. We do so much better than this, like this was so, I don't know. It was, but like, it just, the song, like the tone, I felt like something was gonna come of it, It felt like it was in the movie from the very beginning. The kid was playing it, on his little xylo or on his whatever the hell that thing is called, and then Also, while the mom was painting or drawing her own version of Devil's Tower, the kid was playing that tune. So it felt like the more I don't know, this tune is what actually, for lack of a better word, tuned you into the aliens, I don't know, frequency.
Yeah, whenever they find the guy at the beginning in the desert, and he's like, they're like, sunburn, and he's like, the sun came down, and
Yes.
it sang to me.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like,
That's true. Yeah.
So there is definitely something with the song that like connects with certain people.
And then all I don't know, all those people humming the song as well. Like, so I mean, yeah, there was, and that's the weird thing, is that the whole world knew this was going on, but at the same time it felt like no one knew what was going on. Like in Arrival, everyone fucking know. I don't know. Like,
no
it's
question.
like, holy shit.
There's
and
ships
everyone,
that appear and stay there. Yeah.
So
it's a very different kind of alien movie, which is why I'm like, I have a lot of faith that if I watched it again, I would like it a lot more. I don't have any desire to do that anytime soon. I think that knowing full well what the movie is could absolutely improve it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be able to watch it through the mindset of like, this is what the movie is. Let's find what I like about it. Because I mean, clearly there's no shortage of things I like about it. I've spent a lot of time talking about stuff I like about it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's just weird. Like, I don't, maybe this tone, or the reason it's so specific, it's like Spielberg is trying to actually connect to real people that have had this experience. And like, the reason it didn't resonate with us is because we're not one of the ones. I don't know.
We haven't had a close encounter.
The aliens. But I don't know. It feels, if I have one crazy crackpot theory, is that this family story, whatever that Spielberg has, is actually still a cover up for his actual real close encounter that he had. And he, I don't know, he had an alien friend. E.T. actually cooks. I love E.T. Like, I'm looking at my Spielberg like ranking, and I have 11 movies of Spielberg so far, and it's crazy that E.T. is 1 or 2 for me, and this is 11. Like, this is just the last movie for sure. So we're in just different ballparks.
Yeah, I've got. I think this is the 5th Spielberg alien movie I've watched, maybe 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did E.T., War of the Worlds. He did, I mean, depending on how you count, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that's true. I guess I have that on mine, but is that actually him, or was that a...
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is Spielberg, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have that as... That's the one that's right above Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So...
Oh, what's the other one? Let me see. Sorry. I feel like there's one more. AI, of course.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Have that?
Yeah, that's the other one. And like, it's like E.T., those 3 movies are in the middle of my ranking, and then Close Encounters is one of the bottom few.
You know, Jaws, he got in a little Jaws reference there at the end.
Yeah, we got a little...
You know, so... And Richard Dreyfuss, you know, he's up in here as well. And like, I thought also... another Richard Dreyfuss that actually was just Bob Balaban. So I don't.
There's
it would have been.
Yeah, it always blows my mind remembering that Richard Dreyfuss was in American Graffiti like a couple years earlier.
My God.
And like as a teenager, like he's one of the kids coming of age, and
How
that movie's like,
that make any sense at all?
Dude, blows my mind. Blows my mind that he was like, and he's so convincingly that young in American Graffiti. And that movie, I believe, was 1973. 72?
I'm trying.
73.
Man, it
would have been 73.
73. Holy crap. 4 years?
It would have been 4 years. 4 years earlier.
That's insane. That is...
Jaws was only 2 years after that. And he looks like...
What is this dude? Maybe he is an alien. I don't know, bro.
Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea. It always blows... Like, the American Graffiti to Jaws jump blows my fucking mind as far as the way Richard Dreyfuss looks.
Maybe just hit puberty. I don't... Or, like, yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is...
As a 30-something year...
Yeah. What
30-something-year-old man.
Double puberty. He hit it
double
twice.
Pubered up. No, but... I have conflicting feelings about the movie. I'm excited to rate it. but I think I've said all I need to say about it. I've talked myself up. I've talked myself out of a hole, which I really, really appreciate. I do appreciate that. But
and I'm thinking I'll go to the special edition actually next. I just want to.
I think I might
gotta
too.
see.
I think I might too.
Know? I at least got to see what he was thinking of doing, and then he was obviously like, "Oh shit, no, take that shit out." In the director version, but yeah, it's for Spielberg, I guess quite a disappointment, a little bit, which is crazy to say, but I do think there is a world, I don't know, where it can only get better from here, I feel.
I agree. I don't think I'll rewatch and go, wow, that was worse than I thought. No, I think that this is one of the ones that will absolutely get better when I revisit it. And now that we've talked about it, I certainly will revisit it at some point. But
yeah.
Regardless, I'm going to do the plugs, then we're going to rate this movie, and then after we rate it, I'm going to announce next week's cinema surprise. So I'm very, very excited. If you would, leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. That would be a huge help for me. I would love it. I would really appreciate it if you rated this show 5 stars. Helps us a lot in our SEO. People looking up podcasts anywhere, the ones with the most ratings pop up at the top. So the more you rate it, the more it helps us. Let's see. You can follow any of our other shows. Joe alluded to Fire Pod with me at the top of the show, our Twin Peaks podcast. It's friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. I'm the rewatcher. Joe's the first-time viewer. We discuss it episode by episode, and the idea is that you have to have seen up to the episode we're discussing. Otherwise, you might get other stuff spoiled for you. But I never spoil anything that's to come because Joe hasn't seen it. So if you haven't seen Twin Peaks, it's the show for you. If you have, it's the show for you. And more than anything, you should just watch Twin Peaks. We would appreciate it. Let's see. We've also got Geek With Me going on. Geek With Me, and we are in the midst of Alien Earth, and Peacemaker Season 2 just started earlier this week. So we'll be discussing Alien Earth and Peacemaker Season 2 in alternating capacity. We're doing 2 episodes per week. So Alien Earth episodes 1 and 2. Alien Earth episodes 3 and 4, Peacemakers Season 2 episode 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. So it's just a back and forth after that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. So and if you stick with us here on the Cinementalists, we've got Cinema Surprise coming for the next several weeks before we do a little Halloween-based project for October. So let's get it. How are we feeling about this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I gave it... I think it was it was 3 stars, I believe. It felt, when I rated it, or 2.5 is what I gave it, but it felt like a movie. This was a movie, not the movie, not a I don't know, great. It was there. It was made well. I didn't quite like it a whole lot, or a lot that I thought, but I think it's better than good. Is it better than good? I don't know. I don't know if I could say it's better than good. And 7 is usually where that barrier is of is it great or beginning to be good? And the middle was so draggy. I don't
I'll tell you what. In this conversation, the movie earned my on Letterboxd. I'm retroactively throwing it the now, which is good. That is a generally positive thing. Now, when it comes to rating this movie, I know the idea is supposed to be that we just rate it on its own merit.
That's true.
But we've given a lot of things ratings.
Yes, we have.
It's hard to not compare and contrast. And there are certain movies that I just cannot give this a lower rating than.
Okay.
It is a better movie than Alien's Resurrection. I think it is a better movie than Romulus.
Yeah.
Now, nowhere near as entertaining as Romulus, granted. That's not even close. But I genuinely do find it to be a better made film. And so when it comes to that, that's where doing these ratings gets difficult. Is that, do I feel like this movie is straight up a 7.5 out of 10? Do I think that might be a little nice compared to what I said about the movie, yes. Given the ratings we've given in the past, I think that has to be my rating, though. I think I do have to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. And I think this is where, if we not like a large difference here, but I don't need a movie can be absolutely filmed on an iPhone, and I feel like if the story is good enough, that's all I need, and like I don't need the cinematics and everything. It's just if I can get that, it elevates a movie to a whole different level. So it's like this, the filmmaking and stuff, because the story suffers, it like, I don't know. I feel like a story is what is like 80% of a movie for me, or like I don't know, very, very large, and then the cinematics would be like 20% or around there. So I think you're right. I can't say that Aliens Resurrection, is bad. There's no way. Romulus, though, I would say I would prefer Romulus over this, actually. So that I gave Romulus a 7.5, it's either a 7.5 or 7.25. It's Romulus is more entertaining, but I do recognize Close Encounters is filmed better, and I would prefer the shots and the cinematic look of Close Encounters. So
yeah, and like I said, Romulus is undoubtedly more entertaining. There is no doubt about that.
Because if I give it a 7.25, like here, it ties it with Romulus, which is like kind of crazy to think that a Spielberg alien movie would have been.
Hey, I mean, it happens though, man. That's why, that's the fun of the breadth of coverage we get here, Another interesting thing would be where that would place it with season 1 of Cinema Surprise.
Wow.
I'm very curious.
Let's see. That's
it would be.
Let's see.
It would be closer to the bottom of the list than the top. I'll tell you that much.
It's a 7.4.
Only one I'm confident.
And Book of Eli definitely below. I know that.
Mm-hmm. That got 6 something if I remember correctly.
Legacy. Wow. Okay, that's 83. Actually.
Legacy went up because you gave that 10s.
84. Wait, do I only have these 4 on here? I only have up until Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh,
why is that the thing? Actor Spotlight.
Is there any chance that the rest of it is on the new sheet?
Is it? Oh, Cinema Surprise. Philadelphia Store ET. No.
Those are the lost episodes.
Cinementalists. Yeah, what the F? Where are all the others? That's weird. This old sheet. I guess the old sheet, it takes so long for it to load. I mean, it's crazy how maybe it's just super bugged out. But yeah, I can't. That kind of blows. But I wouldn't say. Trying to think of all the rest of the movies we covered. I don't think there's any way.
No, I think this would be the second lowest behind the Book of Eli, or above the Book of Eli, I should say.
Because what month? Okay, yeah. Fablemans, no shot. Banshees,
no shot.
Singing in the Rain, Passion of Joan of
no
Arc,
shot.
La Chimera,
No.
Arrival,
No.
Cure,
No.
Babylon, Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah, Book of Eli is the only one.
This would be second.
I think,
this would be second lowest, which is kind of wild. I wouldn't have anticipated that.
There we go. Hey, I gotta keep it real out here. I gotta, can't get all the 10 movies. We gotta see some.
We gotta take some risks.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta take some big swings. Yep. I like it. And that's, I don't regret having watched it. I've talked myself into a much more positive spot, and I think that it could only go up from here for me. So I think that brings it to a 74% on the old Cinementalometer.
The Cinementalometer. God,
the Cinementalometer. We love those. But next week on Cinema Surprise.
Yes.
I've got my first pick, and I also wanted to go older.
Okay.
However, there's a pretty new movie that I know you haven't watched that I know you'll like.
Okay.
By a director who we've covered every other movie for. So it feels like an obvious lob for me to go ahead and pick the Phoenician Scheme.
Thank you.
Next week for Cinema Surprise.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yes. We've covered all of Wes Anderson's movies. I would feel remiss for this to not get that same treatment.
Man.
So after this, there will be nothing in this century.
Yes.
For me, they're like I will not pick something from 2000 and on. At least I don't plan on it. I plan on going old with my next two picks, especially since I went with a 2020s.
Yes.
To start. So
brand spanking new. But yeah, it's pained me that I have not.
I know it has, and like I said, it's pained me that we haven't covered it. That's my we've covered every Wes Anderson movie. We did it in anticipation of Asteroid City. That's over on Geek With Me, actually, funny enough, before it was Geek With Me. So if you want to check out all of our Wes Anderson coverage, it's over there. But we've covered all of his films. I would feel remiss if we didn't get around to the Phoenician Scheme. So that is going to be my first pick for for Cinema Surprise Season 2. Next week, come on back for the Phoenician Scheme, available now on Peacock if you want to stream it for free. It's also gotten a physical release now, and it's available on VOD and everything. So it is accessible. It's out there. You just got to find it. So yeah, the Phoenician Scheme, baby. That is what we'll be covering next week here on Cinema Surprise by the Cinementalists. And with that, we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, if everything's ready here on the dark side of the moon, play the 5 tones.